So values are not taught and they get transmitted through action. He doesn't have to tell you that you have to look after family. He does it by actually doing it. In school I was, hey, boy number one. In IIT, I was boy number I don't know what. That place taught me humility. कोई बाप है तो उसका भी कोई बाप है. So therefore there is no place of arrogance in life. Your bent of mind towards logic and math is that was the foundation stone. Logic, math, data will help you perhaps chart the right way. And the class teacher was 26 and I was 44. And the people used to make fun of me. I have to learn. So what if people make fun of me? It doesn't matter. You are born and you die. You can shut your shutters at 26 and become arrogant and say, I know it. You can keep your shutters open till your last day. Choice is yours.
Some journeys are defined not only by milestones, but by mindsets. Sir, I am Manish Srivastava. It's an honor and a privilege to start this very special series, Rakesh Rawal, Uncomplicated. This series is not about the journey of only the leader, but also about the thought process that has gone behind in creating India's most trusted wealth management outfit. It's about discovering how clarity, humility, and conviction can shape both person and performances. Under your leadership, sir, Anand Rathi started with a very few 100 crores of AUM to today at 91,000 crores of AUM, which is a very good start. And yet what stands out that this entire journey has come with a lot of steadiness, and it has been achieved with a lot of steadiness. And there we begin today, the person behind the leader, to understand the values, habits, and discipline that make leadership truly uncomplicated. And here's Rakesh Rawal with you. Welcome again, boss. Welcome, Rakesh. It's a privilege and honor to have you here. It's been almost 18 years that I've been with you. But, the Rakesh that we know today and the Rakesh that started this journey, I just want to understand that more. When you look back in your early life, any moments that influenced and shaped you?
I think all of us are a product of our past. So, do your parents shape you? Of course they do. So, therefore, the core values that a person has have been ingrained into you by the way your parents conducted themselves. Yeah. So, my father, till I was in class 8, spent all his money that he earned in bringing up his brothers and sisters. Yeah. So something about sharing, family, you pick up, you see. He doesn't have to tell you that you have to look after family. He does it by actually doing it, right? He was a railway officer, retired as a general manager, one of the top positions, went through all these hardships and had humongous amount of opportunities to take easy way out. He never buckled any time during his, 35, 40 years of service. Yeah. So what is the message given to you? Will you be influenced by it? Sure. Yeah. Your mother, the way she sort of diligently, without expecting anything in return, was there as a matter of great warmth and strength. Yeah. Does it shape you? Of course it does. So values are not, they get transmitted. They're not taught. Right? And they get transmitted through action. So did that transmission take place? Of course it did. And then that forms the base on which you build your life. Of course, on my early part, my education, I was fortunate enough to get into an IIT. And then, in school I was, hey, boy number one. In IIT, I was boy number I don't know what. That place taught me humility. It said, भाई तुमसे 10 गुना ज़्यादा तेज़ बंदे हैं वहाँ पे. तो आई गिव अप. आई सेड यार मैं नहीं compete कर सकता इनके साथ. तो अगर कोई बाप है तो उसका भी कोई बाप है. So therefore there is no place of arrogance in life. It's just, so be humble. Thank the Lord that He has given you some ability. Build on that ability with complete humility. IIT, the other thing that IIT taught you was logical thinking, mathematics, right? Analysis, all those tools which are helpful to you in anything that you do. Yeah. Your bent of mind towards logic and math is that was the foundation stone, right? And that helps you in various aspects of life. At the end of the day, if there's a problem, logic, math, data will help you perhaps chart the right way. Yeah. And so IIT was very interesting. MBA was again very interesting. I made some very good friends. We were at Bajaj. We were a small batch of about 40 odd students. So there's a lot of camaraderie, relationships built. Then my time at Hindustan Lever. Hindustan Lever taught me what professional management is, and what empathy is. Yeah. So today, whatever we've built in Anand Rathi, the professional principles on the basis of which this has been built were taught to me by my colleagues in HLL. Then I had a stint in business, which went sour for whatever reasons. And I was 44 years of age then, and had to restart life. And then that MBA group of friends came came for my help. One of my classmates was heading private wealth management in Deutsche Bank, and he said, "Hey, come and join DB Deutsche Bank Bangalore." I was thrilled because I got a new start. I knew nothing. I didn't even know the spellings, and didn't know how to use a computer. And so I was thrown into this bank, and then I said, "Let me go and join a basic class of computers, which was MS Office." And in my class, the students were 17, 18, 20, and the class teacher was 26, and I was 44. And the people used to make fun of me. And the teacher used to ask, "Uncle, aaya ya nahi aaya?" So I said, "Hey, either I get away from this because they're making fun, or I have to learn. So what if people make fun of me? It doesn't matter." And therefore, since I was starting at 44, there was a lot of learning to do. And obviously, a lot of my teachers were much younger than me. In the bank itself, there were colleagues much younger than me. Mm-hmm. And I learned debt markets, equity markets, various things from them. And I used to sit with them. And उनसे समझता था. रात के 10-10 बजे तक बैठा रहता था बैंक के अंदर, सीखता था. भाई नई चीज़ है तो मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी.
True.
So that's how 7 years passed there.
So Rakesh, one thing I always, I've heard n number of times from you is that you always say that engineering में engineer बनोगे नहीं बनोगे, but दो चीज़ें जरूर सीखोगे. One thing that you've always stuck on to, it's logic and mathematics, and that's what you've taken through, and that's what I've always believed in. Also want to understand from you saying that this entire journey that you talked about, for example, from a IIT to an MBA, then from MBA to starting your own business. And you briefly touched upon the part, I just wanted to elaborate on that the business went kaput, right? What was your thought there? And how did you, even thought of getting back into something where you said that you didn't know banking that particular point in time? I just want to understand that part of yours, saying that what was rolling in your mind that particular point and what set you going there?
अरे भाई मरता क्या ना करता. मेरी 2 बड़ी बड़ी बेटियां थीं, मेरे पास एक पैसा जेब में नहीं था, तो आई नीड वर्क. Right? So whatever work came my way, I took it. There was no deep strategic thought कि यार wealth management is an industry which will grow here and therefore I should come here. None of that. It was just simply that I need something to work on so that I can feed my family. And somebody gave me an opportunity, I jumped at it. I didn't do some, CPM PERT analysis on it.
जो है वो मिल जाए.
मिल गया, शुक्र है ऊपर वाले का.
You always thank the Lord above.
Yeah, I've got an opportunity. Now I don't want to do all. I need to make the best of this opportunity. Right?
Correct.
And for doing, you have to see. You have to work hard in anything that you do. And therefore, and you can learn anything. After all, I said, what is there in private banking जो मैं नहीं सीख सकता हूँ? क्या है क्या? राइट? तो उसमें मेहनत करोगे तो सीख जाओगे. हर एक चीज़ के लिए आपको मेंटर्स की ज़रूरत होती है. तो वहाँ पे मेंटर्स ढूंढ लो, जो मैंने ढूंढे. अब ऑब्वियसली वो मेंटर्स बड़े मेरे से उम्र में कम थे, बट उससे क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है?
वेरी गुड.
अब जो आज मेरा ट्रेनर है, लगता नहीं है मेरे पास ट्रेनर होगा. राइट? पर ट्रेनर है, और ट्रेनर मेरे से, मैं 69 ईयर्स का है तो मैं 75 साल का ट्रेनर थोड़ी लूँगा. He'll be a young trainer.
He's a young trainer.
So that's how it is.
So one thing that stands out here is that the ability to learn, as you always say, learning is a process. You stuck on to that. You were not perturbed by the fact saying that, यार मैं consumer करता था, private banking हो गया है. But that zeal to learn was there with you, right?
I think, over a period of time, you realize that you are born and you die. And there is this massive universe. Right? आप 50 क्या 500 जन्म भी अगर ले लोगे ना, there'll still be something to learn.
Very true.
Right? So, you have an opportunity to learn if you're alive. Now, whether you want to use it or close your shop is up to you.
Very true.
So, learning is an opportunity existing from the day you are born to the day you die. You can shut your shutters at 26 and become arrogant and say, I know it. You can keep your shutters open till your last day. Choice is yours.
Very true.
Right? And therefore, I've realized that, hey, you have to learn as much as you can all your life.
No, completely agree to that part of yours. Learning, as you always, you continue to drill upon us saying that learning is a process. At any age, if you want to learn, you can learn. But, the thing was that the Deutsche Bank happened to you. You learned, you understood, as you rightly said, that private banking is not a rocket science. You learned onto it. But then from Deutsche Bank, your journey became from Deutsche Bank, you went ahead to Anand Rathi. I wanted to understand saying that, how did Anand Rathi happen?
Again, I was in the bank with a clear mindset that I'm going to, ठीक है, भगवान ने एक मौका दिया है, तो ये, and Deutsche Bank has given me the opportunity. So here I will retire from this place. There's no such ambition that I have to change or any of that. There were certain unfortunate circumstances in the bank where my conscience didn't allow me to continue in the bank. Yeah. And so so therefore I necessarily had to look for an alternative. And fortunately, the option of Anand Rathi came along, and I joined them. And this was it was a very small business for the group at that point in time, and they thought that perhaps I can make something out of it. And therefore they gave me the opportunity to see what I could do. And that's when I joined them in 2007.
at that particular point in time, private banking was just opening up in India. It was not yet there onto it. And then a lot of these foreign names were there around. And people were, especially in India, all said and done, whatever we feel, we think, we still are, run behind the English names, as we said. And when Anand Rathi came into picture, what made you think that this is the kind of place that you want to be in?
There's all kinds of aura attached to foreign names. Or they're very professional, or this is a family business, they will not be professional. All these are myths. Yeah. If you are professional, then you have to behave in a certain manner, which means logic and math has to be behind your decision making, and not I feel to this is what I feel, this is what my gut feel is, do it. Now, if you practice that in a foreign company, you're being professional. If you practice that in an Indian company, you're being professional. The professionalism doesn't come by what name it carries, right? It comes by what kind of actions you do on the ground, right? When I spend time with the Rathi family, I found them to be very logical and professional, right? And I said, hey, I think we can gel. And 18 years down the road, for once I was not wrong.
We thank the stars for that, that you came into Anand Rathi. But it was not an easy journey for you to set up Anand Rathi, because when you came, you were the only one single person. What thought process that came into mind?
No, well, it was a smallish organization of wealth management, led personally by Amit Rathi himself. So it was there. It's not a complete startup that I had to rethink everything, but it's very small. So my joining was such wherein they sort of asked me to lead the thought process of how you want to sort of set up this business, what strategies to follow, what thought process to follow. And they sort of delegated that to me. Yeah. So that's how the journey for me started with Anand Rathi in the wealth management business. We were very, very small. So in effect, we had to virtually start from scratch. Yeah.
But at any point in time, you felt that, you will be building a business, which when I look back today, huge business, or you just thought whatever comes the way, we will build it up as it is?
So I never had, some spreadsheet telling me that, okay, from here I will go to 5,000 crores and 10,000 and 20, etc., etc. I simply said that I should get growth every year and I should be profitable. Yeah. Those were my two criterion. I didn't understand, trying to shortchange the whole process and say quick growth by incurring loss. This doesn't fit into my mindset. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it didn't fit into my mindset. And therefore, I said, even if the profit is small, let it be small. But I don't want to make a loss-making business. I'm not comfortable with that. Yeah, because my thought process was, if there's a loss-making business, then you tend to take shortcuts to convert that loss into profit, and then you get away from the vision that you want to build. Yeah, so let the vision be built at a pace which is natural, and let it sort of unfurl itself in a natural course with time. Yeah, what it is going to be, let time sort of unearth it for us. Yeah. So the whole idea was, can I get an additional RM? Can I get the next client? Can I get the proposition that I take to the client slightly better? And if I can keep doing that, so if I start a financial year, have I ended better than where I started? And that's how we traversed in this journey.
Phenomenal. Back then in 2007, Rakesh, Anand Rathi was not a big brand name. For you today, when I look back, we have close to about 1,000 people working with Anand Rathi Wealth. How difficult was it to even convince to get an RM to work with you?
So I was able to fool a few people, so to say, that they came to me, including you, from brands like Deutsche Bank.
Yes.
So my story sold with a few people.
Yeah.
It always is difficult. Yeah, you go to an uncharted territory as against, but then you go from debt to equity. You know,
Yes.
so if that works, then it can create large value for you. There will be people, if you keep finding, there'll be some people who will say, "Fine, let's move on." And we did find, and you are one of those, a few people, and you endeavor, you will find. Yeah. So you may have to talk to 20 people, and you'll get one. Fair enough. So the task is difficult, but you keep at it, it'll work, right? And then the brand was not as well known, right? So you keep talking to 10 prospects, you'll get one. So your degree of success is more difficult, but then that's the nature of a startup.
True.
You know, no startup is easy. You know, I think you will find, stories that people will tell in every startup.
Very true.
कि कैसे होता था, क्या होता था, कहाँ पे हम खाने को नहीं होता था, and so on and so forth. Everyone will have their own stories.
Yeah.
So we also have our stories.
Can you, I don't know, want to understand that story of ours, Rakesh, that we started. How did it all start? Why? Because what we see today and what we were, as you rightly said, that every startup will have a story, right? What hardships that we faced during those times?
I don't know about the hardships part, but you have to work hard for every RM, for every client, and you don't have money. Yeah. So therefore, if this is what it is, therefore you have to be on the road, trying, to get every client. And, so I used to, we had set up, you will remember, a team in Delhi, in Hyderabad, in Mumbai, and also Chennai. And so my routine used to be and I was stationed in Bangalore. I don't know, for whatever reason, I was comfortable being in Bangalore. I still am today. So that hasn't changed for me. So I used to, every Monday morning, I would take a flight to one of these locations and work those markets till and get back home on Thursday night. And then work the Bangalore market on Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. And then this routine continued for many, many years. Right? Yeah. So when I used to go to Bombay, I used to work the market and also work on the product and the research part. So a lot of research used to emanate from your own ideas. We had a small team which we had challenges with, but it sort of built with time. So it's a routine, and then you obviously didn't have money. So we used to look at these nice hotels from a distance. और aspiration, यार कभी हम भी जाएंगे वहाँ. But we used to stay in small little places कि वहाँ रात बितानी है.
Correct.
तो ठीक है, रात बितानी है. तो पॉइंट ये है कि डॉइचे बैंक में आप कुछ थे.
Yeah.
जब आप स्टार्टअप हो तो आप कुछ और हो. वो एक रियलिटी थी, उसमें आप खुश थे. ये नई रियलिटी है, इसमें खुश रहो, इसको एक्सेप्ट करो, खुश रहो और बिल्ड करने की कोशिश करो. मत सोचो कि यार वहाँ ऐसे होता था, वैसे होता था. वो गया.
That's past.
Past. आज क्या हो, how you're from this level, what can you do to move up? Don't bother and spend energy. एक ज़माने में हम यहाँ होते थे. Otherwise, your energy and your passion gets dissipated by what was there in the past.
Fantastic.
You know, the
Very nice.
reality of today, work on it.
So there what it is, working with Deutsche Bank, coming to lead a startup. There was so much of hardship, Rakesh, and you as a person that I know now was much different than what it was earlier. Leaving the family behind from Monday to Thursday, working in different setups. I think hats off to your family also to give you that kind of a
They were
support.
very happy, yeah, he's gone. What do you mean?
No, jokes apart, but I think there's, these four women in your life, your mother, your wife, and your two daughters. It must be challenging for them as well. Right?
No, my children were relatively grown up. My elder daughter was in the class 12 and my younger one was in class 8. So they were not babies. And of course, my mother, who's always been a pillar of support, and Preeti, my wife, she's sort of stood by me like a rock, so to say. And she was never a cribber. She never cribbed with me कि आपने बिजनेस किया वो फेल हो गया. She never cribbed with me कि यार अब मैं दिल्ली में रहती हूँ बैंगलोर नई जगह पे जाना है. So she adapted to her role in whatever circumstances that came in her way, and again positively embraced those circumstances and built on it. उसको मैं बोला भाई नया बिजनेस चालू करना है ट्रैवल करना है हाँ बिल्कुल करना है आप करिए and I'll hold the fort here.
Right.
And that's how teams work ना. अगर वो मेरी जान खाती रहती तो फिर मैं क्या कर पाता. तो जितना मुझसे कर हो सकता था for the family I used to spend time. But otherwise I think even today she is the person who takes the leadership role on all family issues. And she also today is our head of philanthropy. And she takes the leadership role in whatever philanthropic activities we do.
Phenomenal.
She's a phenomenal person.
Very good. So, so obviously, she stands by, today also she stands by you, Rakesh.
Absolutely.
And I think she's a very big pillar of strength. I've seen her throughout with you. This entire journey, obviously, it would not have been possible if they have not supported you. But this entire business to set up, there was one, I still remember, you always used to tell me, when I used to, not feel well. There's time that we never felt well about it. And Delhi took a lot of time to even grow. You said, you do your work and leave it to him. You always have said that. And you stuck on to that, And this is where we wanted to understand from you saying that, how do you, because it's a very challenging time. It's very challenging for all of us. How do you keep your composure so calm that you always say, koi baat nahi, ho jayega? What?
मैं बोला ना कि मैं I wanted to create a business which created some profit. प्रेशर आता है जब लॉस हो जाता है मेरे मन में.
ठीक है.
तो दिल्ली branch was making a loss. Fair enough. I was making a profit overall. And therefore I had the ability to give you a long rope. Right?
True.
And therefore take your long rope. Everyone is doing their best. कोई घर तो बैठा नहीं था. They were doing their best. और फिर जो नसीब में लिखा होता है वो अपने आप सक्सेस मिलता है. What is in our hands is whatever that we can do. Okay? And what it translates into is God's will. I don't know His will. I know my action. So I concentrate on what I know and leave it to Him. He can do His job much better than I can. Na? He's
Yes,
God.
He's God.
So He will translate it to whatever He believes is the best for us. हमारे हाथ में action है, हमारे हाथ में, what we can do, we should. As long as my team in Delhi was doing their best. Obviously, when you go to 10 people and no client happens, right? It's discouraging. You start having self-doubt. Yeah, but then you need to empathize with people and build up their strength so that they go again the 11th time. and the 12th. Somewhere it happens. Today, for example, look at Delhi. It's one of our star branches. The entire wealth management outfit in Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, I think should be bigger than Bangalore, or Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi should
Yes,
be
it will
about
be.
the even size.
Yeah.
किसने सोचा था? तो फिर लगे रहो, अपने आप होगा.
But you always had that conviction. That's why I really appreciate the fact saying that. You've never told me ever saying that कि या हमें किसी को आपने कभी बोला कि कोई बात नहीं, आप हमेशा ही बोलते रहे कोई बात नहीं तू कर, you do. And none of us knew we were in uncharted territory, that where would we be. But what came along is because of your conviction. As you, one word that you used was empathy. You've always empathized with us. And that is all because I think what the background that you also come from, Rakesh, you come from very humble backgrounds. As you said, your father was in railways. So I think that's got engraved in you. And that's what you have percolated down to us as well.
नहीं, देखो, point is that I worked as an RM, right? And I worked as an RM all through my 18 years here also, right? So बोलते हैं ना, जिस तन लागे या something, there's a
बहुत अनजाने.
वो तन जाने, right? So you understand the hardships of being an RM, yeah, because you were an RM, and even they may say that, hey, I was heading the company, but effectively I was an RM. So you realize कि it's not easy, yeah. So when something is not easy, what do? You try again.
Yes.
You try again, and you don't give up. That's all you can do.
And you never gave up.
So give up.
And you
तो
still don't give up.
give up नहीं करना, जिंदा है ना. Why do you give up? भगवान ने सांसें दी हैं, तो why do you give up? You give up when you go. Before that, why not try again?
Very true.
Simple.